as to how our banking practices today will judiciously promote and preserve the ecological, human, and economic health for businesses and projects that promote waste management practices. And we intend to do more. Internally, within our bank, we are also implementing stricter waste segregation policies within our branches and our offices, and we are partnering with recycling companies and exploring ways to further reduce our paper consumption. As part of this Sustainability Week celebration, we will also be donating recycled products to the St. Paul Senior High School in the Volta region. We would also ensure that the students are engaged by waste transformation experts on sustainability and its implications for their local community. At Ecobank, we also understand that true transformation requires collaboration. In this forum, we'll be hosting discussions with industry experts, government officials, and entrepreneurs to explore innovative solutions and further strengthen strategic partnerships. Our goal is to create a dynamic ecosystem where businesses, policymakers, and communities work together to turn waste into a resource rather than remaining a burden to society. So for us, this Sustainability Week celebration is indeed a call to action. It's a call to challenge the status quo, to embrace creative solutions, and to build a better and more sustainable future for Ghana. By working together, we can transform waste into a powerful engine for economic growth, job creation, and environmental protection. So thank you all so much for joining us on a Monday morning on the start of a very important journey. Let's make this Sustainability Week a catalyst for a cleaner, greener, and a very prosperous Ghana. Thank you, and you are very warmly welcome once again.
Thank you so much, Abna. 2.1 billion tons of waste. And a certain gentleman, William, said, waste isn't waste until we waste it. Yes. So waste isn't waste until we waste it. So all the waste that you and I produce is no waste until we're able to waste it. So we would actually reduce, reuse, and recycle waste. And I'm happy that you and I get to learn about that today. And maybe, even if we knew much about that, we get to refresh our memories and do better. Because really, sustainability to me is not about doing less harm to the environment. It's actually doing more good to the environment. So we are happy to be a part of that journey that Ecobank is starting this week. Thank you, Abna, once again for your welcome address. At this point, we would like to take an address from Mrs. Elsie Ado Awaji, Second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana. Madam, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, and a good morning to everyone here. Hello, can you hear me? Why does everyone look so tired and sleepy? It's Monday. Madam Abna Hosei-Poku, Managing Director of Ecobank Ghana. I do not see board members, management and staff of Ecobank, the Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency. I see a representative of the Ghana Stock Exchange. I see many good friends here. I see my colleagues from the Bank of Ghana here, representatives of the United Nations here, and all cherished stakeholders gathered here. A very good morning again, and I hope we can make this an exciting Monday. I am very honored to be here today as a special guest and as a keynote speaker for this very important occasion, the launch of Ecobank Ghana's Sustainability Week. I bring you warm greetings, as always, from Governor Addison and the entire management team of the Bank of Ghana. As you all may know, the Bank of Ghana recognizes the critical role that sustainable banking plays in our national development efforts. Sustainable banking is important for many reasons, and Abna has mentioned a few of these. But as banks, we expect that you take leadership in promoting a culture of sustainability in Ghana that helps our economy become more robust and resilient going forward. And so it's really good to see that Ecobank is taking steps in this direction. You may know that the Bank of Ghana, through a very collaborative approach, designed a set of sustainable banking principles, starting from 2015, which were eventually launched in November 2019. And it was a partnership with the Environmental Protection Agency and with the Ghana Association of Bankers. And together we developed these principles that would be applied consistently by banks. All the 23 banks in Ghana signed off on these principles. We have the signatures of all the CEOs. And I always say that this is the one thing that somehow the banking sector and the regulator agreed on. We don't agree on many things for good reason. But this time we all came together and we launched it. And maybe part of the reason was that it wasn't rule-based. It was meant to be a voluntary effort by banks to comply with these very important principles because of the bank's own understanding of their relevance. And we encouraged banks to comply with them, and if not, to explain why they do not comply with them. So we have the sustainable banking principles, and if I may shed a little bit of light on it, these principles are set out to provide banks with a roadmap to inculcate sustainable principles in their own operations internally. And then as it relates to their clients and the way they conduct their business with various stakeholders, the banks are required to comply or are expected to comply with these principles as well. We expect in particular that the banks apply these principles to at least 5 of our key sectors of the economy, and which are agriculture, fisheries, forestry, construction, and building, mining, extractives, etc. So in the conduct of business with these sectors, we expect the banks to be very mindful of these principles, but also the banks in their own everyday operations, as we expect them to inculcate and apply these principles. I have to always stress the fact that from the Bank of Ghana's standpoint, and indeed because this was a partnership with the banks and the EPA, our concept of sustainable banking is for banks to be able to recognize the risks that are posed to their bottom line and their balance sheet and their long-term sustainability and resilience, from environmental risks, from social risks, and from governance risks. So these are all key sectors. We don't look only at the environmental aspects of things, which is a core pillar of the sustainable banking principles, but we expect them to look at the social aspects as well as the governance aspects. So for example, banks are supposed to reduce their own carbon footprint in their day-to-day operations. They are supposed to be mindful and to promote gender equity, which is part of the social pillar. So in their day-to-day operations and in their policies, internal policies, they're required to respect gender and promote actively gender equity. We expect them in their dealings with the market to promote financial inclusion, which is also a key pillar of the social aspects of ESG. And so we expect banks to do good business, but not only focus on big companies, right? We expect them to deal with the informal sector, with marginalized groups like the youth groups, women-owned businesses, etc., etc. We believe firmly that if banks consistently apply these principles, they will not only be building more robust businesses, They will not only be more they will not only enjoy more social support in the communities where they operate, but also ultimately they're helping Ghana to meet the SDGs and Ghana to itself build a stronger and more resilient economy going forward. So I cannot overemphasize the importance of these principles. Let me add that since the launch of the principles and the sector guidance notes in November 2019, banks have progressively strengthened their application of these principles. The Bank of Ghana has supported these efforts by providing a lot of capacity building to banks at various levels, and we have also developed and rolled out a standard reporting template which banks are required to use to tell us on a quarterly basis the extent of compliance with these principles. So we've seen from January 2020 increasingly more robust performance of banks under these principles, and that's very heartwarming for us. It is important that banks continue to do this. As I've explained, it is good for banks, it's good for everyone. And importantly, by continuing to consistently apply these principles, we do hope that banks then become eligible to tap into global pools of sustainable funding. This is a big market globally, right? But banks must show and consistently that they're applying these principles, and then they can tap into these pools of funding. Why is this important? It's important because we often hear banks say that they're funded mostly by short-term deposits, and therefore they are not able to fund some big ticket items or some more long-term capital-intensive projects. Now, as the whole nation continues to work on transitioning to a greener economy, we do see that there are major funding needs for the transition, right? We all want to use solar. We all want to use more sustainable forms of building technology. We want to make sure that the farmers are deploying more environmentally friendly practices, and so on and so forth. But all of this is going to take money, and we expect that our domestic capital markets expand and provide the breadth and the depth for banks to be able to tap into this. I know the SEC and the Ghana Stock Exchange have launched principles of or rules for banks and other potential issuers for issuing green bonds, and this is something we at the Bank of Ghana firmly support. But there's a global funding market out there, and banks can tap into these so that they can provide the much needed funding domestically to help the nation transition in an equitable manner as well, so that no one is left behind. So this is also another reason why banks should take this seriously. But it is gratifying to note that Ecobank Ghana is making very conscious and intentional efforts on its journey of sustainability. And I have to start off by saying that when the Bank of Ghana was developing these principles with the Association of Banks and the EPA, and even after the principles were launched, one of the key pillars of support was what we call the Sustainable Banking Steering Committee, which was made up of members of staff from the Bank of Ghana, from the Association of Banks, as well as from the EPA. And they really spearheaded all of these efforts. The chairperson of the steering committee for the Sustainable Banking Principles work was a person called Musa Salah. Some of you may know him. Musa Salah was tireless in his efforts, and Musa Salah is, I believe, or was a member of the group, Ecobank Group. I don't know if he's still there, but if he's not there, please, regardless, just tell him how much Ghana appreciates his efforts at tirelessly spearheading the work that led to the launch of the principles. And even after the launch, making sure that all the work that needed to be done was done. I can't tell you how many text messages Musa and I exchanged I mean, like every other day he was sending me a message on something, right, to make sure that we were moving ahead. And so Ecobank has led in that effort. And then in addition, Ecobank Ghana has made a lot of efforts, including in setting up a 25-member sustainability task force, I'm told, to spearhead the development of your own internal strategies and frameworks for implementing the sustainable banking principles. This is something that is very commendable, so congratulations. I understand, yes. I understand that you have transitioned into solar energy across all of your branches and ATMs. Is that true? Well, that is really commendable. That is really commendable. And so you've actually seen a significant reduction of more than 50% in your energy cost. So it's actually good for business too, right? It's a good thing to do for the environment and for the nation, but it's good for you, for your bottom line. And frankly, this is really something that I hope everybody learns from. The launch of this Sustainability Week, I think it's further evidence of your commitment to sustainability, creating awareness and bringing together stakeholders. And I know it's a whole week of events. I do hope that you get out there to your clients and to the whole nation to let them hear your voice, let them see your faces, let them understand why it's important that we work together. On the particular theme for this week and the issue of waste management, it is really, really dear to my heart. And it's, I'm sure, heartbreaking for all of us to see that waste ends up being waste. Where's our lady MC? There's so much we could do out of it, right? And so I do hope that Ecobank not only talks the talk on this, but we want to see actual walking of this talk, identifying businesses that can help, and funding those businesses, right, that can actually help to use waste. First of all, we don't have to have all that waste around, do we? Bottled water everywhere, plastic bags everywhere. So I think the awareness creation so that every community, every household understands that littering is really a crime, you know, we need to provide waste boxes. You know, several years ago in my previous life, I did some work on Japan. And I was surprised to see that in Tokyo, you never saw a waste bin anywhere. Never. But it's one of the cleanest cities I've ever seen. And I'm told that when they wear the kimonos that the women wear are made with pockets, hidden pockets, so that you put your waste in there. You carry your waste with you. I found that quite fascinating. So that's a little aside. But it's one of the cleanest cities, and there are no trash cans, no waste paper bins, nothing anywhere, because it's become a culture. And they believe that cleanliness is next to godliness in their way, in their religion, right? And they respect that very strictly. So we need to do something. I think we need to start by making sure that there are waste bins in all the appropriate places, and then cultivate this new culture of not littering, right? And then if there's litter, how do we collectively and responsibly generate power or other useful outcomes out of it? And so I'll plead with Ecobank to really make this not just a talk, but actually walk the talk on this. So with that said, and actually I'm wearing blue today. I know it's a green day, but I'm wearing blue also to draw attention to our water bodies. So I wanted to do green with you, but I thought I'll do blue. That is a crisis happening on us. And I'm begging you to use this week to also draw attention to that. There's a lot of waste in the water bodies. You see fishes swallowing. Have you seen any of those pictures? Fishes swallowing waste, rubber waste and plastic waste. It's just so heartbreaking. And we eat these fishes, right? and the water sources are polluted so much, but this is how our cassava and maize and everything is being irrigated, and so what are we doing? We may not be doing it, but somehow we're all affected. So how do we all come together to do something about it? So please pay some attention to that as well. And let me say in wrapping up that I doff my hat off to the board, the shareholders also, because I know they demand this. The shareholders, the board, the management team, and all of the staff of Ecobank Ghana who work tirelessly to ensure that Ecobank continues to show leadership in sustainability. I urge you not to relent in your efforts, and I hope that this week-long celebration gives you the opportunity to scale the work that you're doing in this area. And I call on other banks, other financial institutions, other corporates to all join in this effort. We all need hands on deck so that together we can make long-lasting change happen, and speedily. Because like I said, otherwise it's a crisis happening on us. So congratulations, Ecobank, and I wish all you and all of your stakeholders a remarkable week-long celebrations. Thank you.
We can do it better for Mrs. Elsie Adro Awaji. Thank you, Madam. Lots of nuggets of wisdom in her speech. You know, when Madam was talking, we should have started with her profile, but we had a bit of a technical challenge and want to reduce the waste of time, but we are back to reuse our time. So technology is back. So before I move on to the next, I'm sure not everybody here knows about Madam, so we'll still play it. Please listen. It's a recorded profile, so please listen to Madam. We wasn't there because we had a technical challenge with our network. Can we please listen to Madam's profile?
It is my honor to introduce our esteemed guest speaker today, Mrs. Elsie Addo Awaji.
Okay, please pause.
Of the Bank of Ghana.
Madam, please pause the profile. Madam must go, so we are going to do the launch, officially declared launch. Then even when she's gone, we'll still listen to her profile. So I'll invite the Chief Country Risks Officer, Madam Joanna, to please do us the honors.
So may I please ask our invited guests to join us? Mr. Kokofu, please join us. Deputy Governor, please join us as well. But before I hand over the mic to our Deputy Governor to launch, I just want us to appreciate Joanna. Joanna is really not just our CRO, but she's also our Chief Sustainability Officer. And all of this is possible because she led the team to get here. Joanna, thank you very much on behalf of the board, all of ESCOM, and all our colleagues. You know, you made this possible. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anything just to say to us? Okay. Well, it is my singular honor at this point to declare the Ecobank Ghana Sustainability Week duly launched.
Put your hands together. All right. Everybody now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So the week is duly launched. Like I said, please play the profile before I move on to the next speaker on the program. Thank you. And I guess if you don't see Madam here, then she's actually asked officially to leave. Madam, thank you for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce our esteemed guest speaker today, Mrs. Elsie Addo Awaji, Second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana. Mrs. Addo Awaji is a distinguished Ghanaian legal and financial professional with over 25 years of experience. Throughout her career, she has championed financial stability and inclusion, both domestically and internationally. Prior to her appointment as Second Deputy Governor in 2018, Mrs. Addo Awaji served as a two-term commissioner for Ghana's Security and Exchange Commission, where she played a pivotal role in shaping the country's capital market. Her expertise extends to financial sector regulation, crisis management, and sustainable economic development. Mrs. Adu-Awaji is a strong advocate for gender equality within the financial sector. In 2020, she was elected chairperson of the Alliance for Financial Inclusion's Gender Inclusive Finance Committee. Her dedication is further reflected in her impressive academic background. Mrs. Adu-Awaji holds an LLB and MBA from the University of Ghana, a qualifying certificate in law from the Ghana School of Law, and an LLM in international business and economic law from Georgetown University. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Elsie Adu-Awaji.
I like the fact that you're smiling. Please join us in saying thank you to Madam. Thank you. I think it's important that we heard about her profile. That's a very impressive one. So we are grateful to her, even though she's not here. Right, so now that technology is up and running, we're going to listen to a message from one of our key partners, a message from the UN Global Compact team, and it is delivered by Tolulupe Louise Tamako. May we please listen to her profile, after which her message is virtual, so we'll listen to her message. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now listen to a message from the UN Global Compact. Message will be delivered by Ms. Tolulupe Louise Tamoka. Her profile. Ms. Tolulupe Louise Tamoka assumed the position of Chief of Government Relations and Africa, GRA, at the UN Global Compact in New York in July 2023. As the leader of the GRA team, Ms. Louise Tamoka oversees intergovernmental affairs and relationships, coordinating the organization's implementation of the UN Global Compact Africa strategy. She also provides strategic guidance for the overall strategies of the UN Global Compact on Africa, with a focus on intergovernmental relations and engagement with member states of the Group of 77 and China. Ms. Louise Tamoka has more than 2 decades of experience in private sector engagement, policy and program management, financial partnerships, development coordination, intergovernmental relations, gender equality, and women's rights. Before joining the UN Global Compact, she held distinguished leadership roles within the United Nations system. She served as the Senior Regional Coordination Officer for the UN Development Coordination Office, DCO, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Prior to that, she served as the Gender Advisor to the Resident Coordinator's Office in Ghana and worked as Africa Regional Program Specialist for UN Women in New York. Ms. Louise Tamoka also managed the DCO post-conflict and prevention portfolio and contributed her expertise to the UN support mission in Libya, the UN Development Program in Ghana, and the UN Development Fund for Women, UNIFEM, in Nigeria. A national of Nigeria, Ms. Louise Tamoka is a lawyer and an international fellow at the Human Rights Institute of Columbia University in New York. She holds an LLM in law and MSc in development management from the Open University, Milton Keynes, UK. Please take a listen to her message.
Business leaders and friends, it's a great pleasure to be with you today, albeit virtually. I wish I could be with you in person, but I appreciate the opportunity to reach to you through this medium. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this special occasion during Ecobank Sustainability Week celebration. It is clear to all of us here today that environmental sustainability and waste management are of paramount importance. Although Africa today produces less waste than the developed world, projections suggest that sub-Saharan Africa could become the leading global region in total waste generation if current trends continue. Waste generation in Africa, like many other regions in the world, is driven by population growth, rapid urbanization, a growing middle class, changing consumption habits and production patterns, and global waste trade and trafficking. In Africa, which produces only 5% and consumes 4% of global plastic, growing population and urbanization are driving an increase in single-use plastic, heightening environmental pollution and health trends, according to the WHO. By 2050, a quarter of the world's people will be African. This is why we must act now. The theme of promoting waste transformation, the Ecobank Way, underscores our commitment to taking action for a better tomorrow. As part of the UN Global Compact, the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative, we advocate for businesses to prioritize environment and climate, including waste transformation, to demonstrate corporate responsibility and leadership. We need like-minded businesses to take the lead and bring financing and investment, technology and innovation to drive change. Ecobank, as a member of the UN Global Compact and the Africa Business Leaders Coalition, is one strong example of accountable and actionable businesses taking our future into their own hands. Waste transformation goes beyond mere trash management. It involves reimagining our approach to consumption, production, and resource management. It requires us to discover innovative ways to reduce, reuse, and recycle materials, fostering a circular economy where waste is minimized and resources are maximized. Together, we possess the opportunity to make a meaningful difference in the world. Let us seize the opportunity to reimagine our future. I extend my best wishes for a successful and inspiring Sustainability Week celebration.
Tolulope is not here. So friends and colleagues watching us online, maybe you can give her a virtual clap whilst we do it again for her, because we are here. We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Teams, so that our colleagues who are not here can watch us. So we are all on camera, just so you know. Thank you. There's a lot of businesses in waste. As Madam Elsie Awaji was talking, she talked about the kimonos, and I thought, what can we do with our kaftans? Maybe we have to put pockets in our kaftans, but we'll still eat our gobe. So please, those of you listening, if you put the pockets there, make sure that it's insulated, so that when we take our gobe, we will not have any stains. But thank you so much to Ms. Tolulope for her message. Now we've gotten to a stage where we get to listen to our country chief risk officer, Joanna Mensah. Shall we please give her a resounding round of applause? Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you very much. I think the Deputy CEO just left, but let me acknowledge her presence and that we thank her for joining us. Also, the BSD head of Bank of Ghana and colleagues here present. We also have the former CEO of EPA, Honorable Kokofu, with us. And then also we have the present CEO of EPA, who is John Kruger. And we have been partners for a while, so we acknowledge them here. Also, the representatives of the UN Global Compact, the MD of Ecobank, HESCO members, management team, and also staff of Ecobank. Thank you for joining us this morning to celebrate and launch the Ecobank Sustainability Week. The theme is promoting sustainability through transformation, the Ecobank Way. This week's celebration serves as a powerful reminder of our commitment to building a more sustainable future for Ghana. As a Pan-African bank, we recognize the interconnectedness of the society, environment, and also the economy. In aligning with the global frameworks, Ecobank's sustainability strategy is built on 7 core pillars, which align with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, and the Paris Climate. This framework also allows us to integrate sustainability into everything that we do, from our products and services to our operations and community engagements. The bank is committed to international sustainability frameworks and protocols, including the UN Environmental Programme Finance Initiative, the UN Global Compact, the Equator Principles, amongst other notable ones. In aligning with the sustainable banking principles, Ecobank Ghana has been a forerunner in implementing the Bank of Ghana's sustainability banking principles, which was championed by Musa, as the deputy governor indicated. So at the beginning, we were engaged in putting together all the information and rules that accompany the sustainable banking principles. The principle seeks to guide banks in mainstreaming the fundamental tenets of sustainability in our business and operations. Indeed, Ecobank Ghana played a leading role by chairing the steering committee in development of the principles and guidance notes. Building on our commitments that began in 2014 with the development of an approved ENS framework and policy by our board, we made significant strides. Ecobank Ghana in 2021 also appointed the country chief risk officer, myself, as a sustainability executive. Subsequently, we appointed a risk working steering committee, and then also a 25-member task force across board, so that we will bring on board all stakeholders within the bank to implement the Bank of Ghana sustainable banking principles. Extensive staff awareness was also created, and we had mandatory programs, training programs on VBI for all staff, so that we can integrate the sustainable banking principles. We also set for ourselves key performance indicators, KPIs, which are used to measure our performance. And indeed, the functions of the task force members were more or less to make sure that this is embedded in our day-to-day operations. So we did set KPIs in the year 2023 for staff members so that we can be accountable and foster a culture of adherence to each of the principles set out under the banking principles. We further strengthened our framework with the development of key policies such as the Ecobank Gender Policy. And then also since 2021, we have strategically incorporated progress updates on the implementation of the sustainable banking principles into the board chair statement within our annual reports. This transparency serves to underscore the organization's unwavering commitment to these principles. Emphasizing our transparency, Ecobank Ghana has produced its first comprehensive Global Reporting Initiative, GRI, Standards Report for 2023 to showcase the measurable progress we've made in embracing sustainable banking practices. Also, as part of our credit processes, we embed the ENS due diligence, which we conduct for all credits, which would have an environmental impact. And so we make an assessment of whether we have a high, medium, or low risk associated with any transaction we finance. And this has gone on for as long as 20 years within the bank, and it is currently very insightful for us to be part of that. And working with the business units also, this has been embedded in our credit processes. So in the year 2023, there was a 23% increase in transactions that were reviewed by us in environmental and social sensitive sectors, up from 134 in previous years. Several client site visits were conducted to ensure implementation of action plans during the financing period. With this, what we do is when we visit on site, we identify some of the ENS risk, analyze them, and then we come up with action plans that we embed in the offer letters of clients to ensure that it will be implemented. So this has also gone on for a while, and our clients have really bought into it, and it has also helped to shape their businesses. So because we are all partners in implementing environmental sustainability. And then the next one focuses on financing a brighter tomorrow. I think they are showing some slides here to show what we did. We are actively promoting sustainable financing solutions. We are proud to be the first commercial bank in Ghana to be accredited to the Green Climate Fund. Allowing us to support medium-sized climate resilient and low-emission projects of up to $250 million. Furthermore, our collaboration with organizations like AFDB and Energy Commission, both under the Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa and Accelerating Solar Action Program, are providing crucial funding for women-led agribusinesses and clean energy initiatives. It is my singular honor to announce to you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that our first climate finance project under the Accelerating Solar Action Program, worth $30 million, was approved by the Green Climate Finance Board on 5th of March to provide SMEs This will provide SMEs and households with solar panels and systems. Furthermore, the largest off-grid MOB projects financed by Ecobank are not only reducing environmental impact, but also creating jobs and empowering communities. We also lead by example in our operations. Our commitment to sustainability extends beyond financing. We are actively reducing our own environmental carbon footprint. Our transition to solar energy through the branch solar hybrid system has resulted in a significant reduction in energy costs and averagely 90,000 kg of carbon emissions, which is the equivalent of 2,313 trees planted. We are also happy to have achieved the IFC EDGE certification last year for our head office building. Showcasing our commitment to energy and water efficiency. We've also invested in our people. Our dedicated team is essential for achieving our sustainability goals. We have trained staff on the Central Bank's sustainable banking principles. The training sessions were conducted in 2 phases. The first phase in April 2023 and the second in October 2023. A total of 1,700 staff successfully completed the mandatory virtual training. Branch sustainability champions were designated and trained across all branches to serve as advocates for sustainability within their respective branches, tasked with collating data at the branch level on internal carbon footprints, mainly on our paper usage, energy and water consumption, waste generation, etc. These champions enable us to track our progress and refine our strategies. Also, we've been recognized for our achievements. Our hard work has not gone unnoticed. In November 2023, the bank was honored as the best institution for ESG integration, reporting, and disclosure. It also won an overall best institution for renewable energy integration, all under the Sustainability and Social Investment Awards. Also, in June 2023, Ecobank Ghana was honored with the prestigious SDG Best Financial Service Award during the Think Energy SDG Awards ceremony held in Accra. Other awards won in previous years include Best Partnership and Collaboration of the Year 2022, Best Bank and Sustainability, and Operational Excellence 2021. As mentioned earlier, we at Ecobank Ghana proudly affirm the utilization of the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI, Content Index, Essentials with Reference Option Service for our 2023 Environmental, Social and Governance and Sustainability Report. Indeed, we are commended by GRI to be the first bank in Ghana to complete the Content Index. Essentials with a reference option service for our report and obtained a GRI service mark as a formal confirmation that the submitted report has successfully completed the service in 2024. This effort reflects our dedication to providing stakeholders with clear and standardized accounts of our ESG performance, impacts, and initiatives. Looking forward, our Sustainability Week is a celebration of our achievements, but it's also a call to action. We are committed to continuous improvements, pushing the boundaries of innovation and collaboration to create a more sustainable and better future for all of us. We invite you to join us on this journey. Together, we can build a thriving economy for Ghana that operates in harmony with the environment and empowers our communities. Ecobank, a better way. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna Mensah, for giving us what Ecobank has been up to when it comes to sustainability and really walking the talk, as we've said here. You know, Joanna said that we are the first bank to have had the accreditation for the Green Fund, but I just look, we are the first and only bank, and I dare say, corporate organization in Ghana to be accredited. Please, let's do it better for Ecobank, man. If we're in church, we'll be screaming and jumping. Let's do it better. We indeed walk the talk. We walk the talk indeed. For me, a summary from what I get from Joanna is that at Ecobank, sustainability is viewed as a matter of our business survival. So we know that for us to succeed as a business, we need to ensure that we have sustainable practices. And I believe we can and will really make visible change when it comes to sustainability. Thank you, Joanna and team. We appreciate you. Thank you. So I would like to take a message from the former EPA boss, Mr. Henry Kokofuse. A message from you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Madam Managing Director, I would like to associate with the exhausted protocols, so forgive me. I have my successor here, Dr. John Kruger. Yeah. And I know it will be his turn to delve deeper into the relationship between Ecobank and Environmental Protection Agency. So I'll take my time to do just a few things, share some insights, and then move on. I must admit that I've been quite selfish. All over the years, we've been dealing and working with Ecobank. This is my first time of entering here, and that has been very bad. Ecobank have been coming and coming and coming all the time. So I thought Henry and Co. decided to make me do the needful. So they wanted me to come at all costs. And here I am. Yes, we're talking about sustainability and how the whole thing started or began. For me, and indeed the facts are there, it's with natural resources, both renewable and the non-renewable. And the old world order hinged on cornucopianism when it came to exploitation and the exploration and the usage and everything of natural resources. Knowing that the non-renewables are finite, it can get finished. And then the renewables, even though infinite, but can get weakened. And so regeneration capacity can be lowered, and that will cause a lot of problems. So the cornucopian era, where people thought everything is there, God gave us the forest, God gave us the sea, the fishes and everything in there, because we were very much hinged on Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 to 20, there going, when God commanded everything and gave man dominion over all things and asked man to dominate them all. Little did man knew that God wanted sustainable management. So management of natural resources. And indeed, that was the first assignment God gave to man. God never asked man to become a banker, nor a lawyer like myself, nor an engineer. He asked man to be a sustainable manager of the natural resources. Unfortunately, the first man and the first woman did not get the drift. So the dissipation continued, started from there and continued up to a point where the cornucopian system, the Americans, the US, they were the first to know that the fishes in the seas, the oceans are getting extinct, they are getting finished. The forest resources are getting extinct and all that. So there's the need to protect. So came protectionism and then later conservationism. So let's protect forest reserves. Let's put them under protection. Let us conserve some of the reserves here and there. Let us protect the gold and the diamond, the minerals there for future use and all those things. And that thing was also not working. Let me get back a bit. Cornucopianism produced three notorious children. One is the tragedy of the commons. That thing belongs to all of us. So I can take, you can take, and nobody can restrict anybody. Then it came to resource allocation. Who takes salt and who has salt? Who gives salt to who? So that's the beginning of corruption. I mean, administrative allocation of resources. Nepotism and favoritism began from there on. Then finally, resource curse, conflict situations. I want this, you want that. No, we will fight over. So countries, and UK fought over opium, the greatest opium war. Yes, they fought over a natural resource. All those kinds of things. So when conservationism and protectionism was introduced, then those who are closer to the resources were being disadvantaged. We are protecting, yet we're sitting at Emre Daneyama room thereof. Then the man comes with a small piece of paper and says, I've been given concession to come and take the timber from there. And it's, no. So a whole lot of. The world saw the need to address this situation. So came the Rio de Janeiro 1992 World Summit, where sustainability was suggested and introduced. And then Kyoto Protocols and others followed. Finally, we do have, then the SDGs were promulgated, and now we do have the Paris Agreement that deals with climate change. So in effect, all these, the usage, the exploitation, the misuse, the overuse, and all those things all culminated into climate change effects, spearheaded by the revolution, the Industrial Revolution at the global north. So, sustainability was born. And sustainability had to look at circular economy. That's the reuse, the recycle. We've mentioned all those things. So to give some kind of space and rest to the natural resources. So as minimal that we can exploit, then we will continue to use and reuse and all that. So we put an end to waste. And indeed, we had thought then, world had thought then that at the tail end of exploiting natural resources, manufacturing and all those things, industry and all that, the end of the value chain was waste, or it ought to be waste. That was we thought. But sustainability has taught us that it can't be recycled. I mean, the circular economy. So if you have to do things. And at the heart of the SDGs, target goal number 9, it talks about innovations and all that, infrastructure development and all manner of things that bring into fore the rest of the goals that put together. So, since we are looking at promoting sustainability through waste transformation, Ecobank Way, it means it places waste at the core. So waste stands accused this morning. So what we do, talking about waste, the circular economy has taught us all that the lady said it is not waste until you waste it. Is it not the case? And even wasting it is also a problem, challenge. Where are you going to put them? How are you going to store them and all manner of things? So poorer countries like Ghana have become dumping place for other countries' waste. What do we do? What are the solutions and all that? Technology has stepped in. And technology is always driven by finance. And that's where the financial institutions like Ecobank comes in. And so business opportunities. As for you bankers, you're always looking for where the money will come from, the cash. So it is in the light of this that developing economies will have to, not to look so far, but what really happened with the developed economies. It's a simple thing. The Kushner's curve. They had the economic Kushner's curve, and eventually the environmental Kushner's curve. You exploit, you disturb the environment, impacts and all that. You get to an ultimate where you make so much money and all that. Then you plow back to repair the damage, rehabilitation, restoration, all those things. Then you come to, you have made good use of the resources, both renewable and non-renewables, and then you've gotten to certain level that you can repair those damage and replace them where necessary. That's the difference between developing economy and then developed economy. Our curve is just a straight one. We are exploiting and damaging. You don't know when you reach. So that's where the challenge is. We must find a solution to turn the curve down. Now, practically, to address this issue, and here I would like to crave your indulgence. Allow me to put on my favorite cap, the political animal cap. Now that I have smarted out of public office, John has taken over, so I can put on the political cap. Yes, one of the legacies that President Akufo-Addo's government is going to give to this country can be found in what we call climate prosperity plans, CPP. As we are today, we have what we call CVF, Climate Vulnerable Forum, comprises of 58 countries across the globe, Africa, Caribbean, Latin America, Middle East, Asia, all that. And we represent about 1.4 billion people on the globe. And we are basically developing nations, developing economies. And these countries identify themselves as being the hardest hit by the climate effects. And for that matter, we are also the least emitters anyway. So that is the unfairness we have on our hands. And President Akufo-Addo for the past 2 years has been the chairman for this forum. And fortunately, myself, he made me the presidential special envoy as we speak. So we've been going through these countries and working together seriously. And with the finance ministry, the outgone finance minister happened to be the chairman of the finance ministers of these groups. So there was an idea to get out of, smart ourselves out of vulnerability to resilience and then finally move on to prosperity. So climate prosperity plans. Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, I think Indonesia and others, to put them theirs into place. So Ghana has our own. Very soon the Vice President will launch it. And these are going to be the game changer. And that is where the private capital, private technology is very much required. So financial institutions like Ecobank and all others have a very, very prominent role to play. And that is going to ginger the economy, bring back the recovery. So if you ask me, the economic recovery program lies in the climate economy. And it's about mainstreaming the climate financing instruments into our national economies. And that is where the matter is. So the sustainability financing, promoting gender, and all those things that you aspire or you've been doing are all captured in there. So I would like to end here by congratulating you for bringing the whole nation to this point of awareness, creation, and education on sustainability. Thank you very much. I hope to meet you once again.
Thank you, Dr. Henry Kokofu. And please, for those manning our internet and our online communication, put it there, hashtag, the word of the day. What is the word? Please, what is the word? Concompianism. Hashtag, word of the day. Please put it there. Doc, thank you so much. I won't forget that word. In fact, we went Googling. We've been Googling the word. So if you have not Googled yet, it is the belief that the resources of the environment will, regardless of how we exploit it, we still have them. It's not true. And so, Doc, when I heard your name, I said, oh, you are Fonsa, no, right? That's the same thing. So when we are destroying the environment, we should be looking at ourselves. We are destroying ourselves. Thank you so much for the word of the day. Thank you. Doc, you said you wanted to see whether your successor has anything. Is the successor ready to give us a word? Maybe 2 minutes, in fact 2 minutes. Sorry for putting you on the spot, or even if it's a minute.
I think less than 2 minutes. Yeah, just to say good morning, and to of course I recognize the protocols accordingly, and to say that I am not in green, and I also see a number of people not in green. We are also sending a message that sustainability is not a black or white fallacy, and that all of us have to continue to work at it every day, and it is all of us who are involved. The enyefi is too much, so that is also our message, that we all have to work. And my second word is that today I get to understand that the eco in the name of the bank has a real meaning, and that if you are not banking with Ecobank, you are not doing sustainable banking. Thank you.
So you know where to bank. If you are not banking with Ecobank, we don't want to leave anyone behind. So please, everybody, as you can hear us, come join us. Ecobank is the place to be. Thank you. So before we go on to the next, we will invite Ken Kabonu to give us 5 minutes of musical interlude. So all the things that we've been saying. Ken, please, the word of the day must feature. You heard the word, right?
I might get it wrong.
So 5 minutes for Ken. Ken, thank you.
A little less than 5 minutes for the afternoon. The sun is burning brightly outside. There would be a sustainability through waste transformation. Feel me like get on board. Join the trail and tell your neighbors and friends. Size it up and do it right. Am I right even if I mistakenly pronounce the word cornucopine? Am I right? Mistakes are prone to correction, just as you're doing it so beautifully. A better way, a better Africa. This is where you are. Sustainable banking is been detected, it's by your name. Here we are celebrating a lovely week. Let's sustain our green. Ecobank, a better way. Ecobank, a better Africa. Think about the green climate fund set up by you. Is an example which you would find. My song is running out, and also enjoy your day. Promoting sustainability through waste management. You heard about the consumption of fishes in the sea, looking at the dangers to humanity. You see, when the deputy governor translated the presence in blue into green, converged into success, solve your dreams. Ecobank, a better way. Ecobank, a better Africa. Enjoy your week this week. It was a short song.
It was a short song, but a very nice one. Thank you, Ken Kabonu. So we have a lot of our invited guests here and our partners. I would acknowledge them now before we move on to the next item on our program. We have Mr. Osei Jesse, Head of Banking Supervision here. Sir, are you here? Give us a wave. Okay, thank you. And then we have Diana Oka, Madam Diana Oka, Ghana Stock Exchange PR. Is Madam Diana Oka here? Welcome, Madam. Thank you. Then Mr. Noah Jima of the Jospon Group. Thank you, sir. Dr. Sasraku, National Banking College. Thank you, sir, for coming. And then we have a lot of our partners, directors and executives and reps from our partners. So I would mention the organizations, and if you are here representing them, please give us a wave. IFC and World Bank. Thank you. GIZ. Thank you. UNDP. CSR Institute. Thank you, sir. We have CSOs here. If you have, thank you. The Energy Commission. Thank you. EPA. Yeah, thank you. And then we have the Ministry of Finance. Thank you, Madam. FAO. Thank you, sir. Then we have a couple of our former staff here and all our business clients. All our invited business clients and former staff, please, if you're here, give us a wave as well. I want to acknowledge you. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for joining us. So, again, we've been talking about walking the talk, and we said we do that. And we are going to show you a testament that this is done. So we are not just saying that. We have claimed it. Now we are going to show you, substantiate the fact that, yes, Ecobank will live sustainability. So we don't just say it. And when Joanna was speaking, she talked about over 1,700 staff that have been trained. Beyond that, last month, we had the challenge launch for staff, where we're asked to bring exciting ideas. And so I'm told that interesting ideas came up. And the team that were given the honors to go through them and select winners are here. And the team is led by my colleague Efe Winfo from HR. Is Efe here? Yes. So Efe will come and tell us more about it. So there are people here who are going to win some cash prizes. So if you are listening to us, you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or on Teams. If you're on Teams, it means you're an Ecobanker. If you put in an idea, you may be surprised. So please stay tuned. Efe, welcome. Please, let's welcome Efe with a clap.
Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. The Ecobank Green Idea Challenge, under 3 broad pillars of energy efficiency, water conservation, as well as waste reduction and recycling, was launched a month ago. It was expected to sensitize staff and also create awareness of our environment and our impact on it, and how we can also ensure that we are doing the right things where we live. Staff were encouraged to submit implementable project ideas under these 3 broad topics. The winning project, please note, the winning project will be implemented by the bank and a report of its success shared with management and the board. Please go back. The judges who helped us to find or come up with the winners are as follows. Ebenezer Ashi, he's the project coordinator for SUNREF, Green Projects Energy Commission of Ghana. Eben. We also have another Ebenezer Kuma. He's the Business Intelligence Manager, Zoom Lion Private Services Limited, Jospon Group of Companies. Eben, thank you. And we have our own Mark Ufori Kwafo. He's a retiree of the bank. And he now consults for the British International Investments Company and is an ESG consultant for Growth Investment Partners Limited, an entity established by BII. So what the judges did, next slide please. What the judges did was to select projects that were able to touch on 3 out of 5 of these listed criteria. So project ideas touched on all 5 of these, and they deserve a mention. That's Mary Sowa, Risk Management Department, and Roberta Emisa of Commercial Banking Department. They touched on all 5 areas. Next slide, please. So we had 29 ideas submitted. And the categories were as follows. 8 were in the energy efficiency side. There were 15 under waste transformation and recycling, and then there were 6 under water conservation. People were allowed to either submit projects as individuals or as teams. And as individuals, 21 people forming 73% handed in their submissions. 3 of our branches submitted under these categories as well, and 5 departments also did the same. Next slide, please. Here we have our top 5 teams and individuals. In no particular order, under waste transformation and recycling, Dinah was shortlisted. Under paper recycling for cash bags and envelopes in banking halls, we have Team Farm. EcoCard Renewable closing the loop on ATM card recycling, Kenneth Asamoah. Energy efficiency solar car park at the head office, Solomon J. The last but not the least, accelerating core benefits of anaerobic digestion, biogas digester for head office, Thelma Nati. Please, the top five finalists, if you could just get up and let's recognize you. Well done, well done, well done, well done. Thank you very much. Please take your seats. Now we come to the exciting part where we find out who are the top 3 winners. I'll divide Vivian and Louis, please come forward. So hand in, can we have some drum roll, please, just to create some. Okay. So for our 3rd prize, Madam Dinah Okine, PR, Ghana Stock Exchange, if you can come forward, please, to assist us. Our 3rd prize goes to Team Farm.
Team Farm, you deserve a resounding applause. Team Farm, you deserve an applause again and again and
They
again.
win 5,000 Ghana cedis and a plaque.
Your award is 5,000 Ghana cedis and a plaque. They deserve a 3rd round of applause.
Well done, well done. Thank you very much. Congratulations, team. The 2nd prize, we kindly ask Dr. Sashaku to do us the honors. Our 2nd prize winner, he wins a whooping 10,000 Ghana cedis. Yes. Drum roll. Solomon J.
Solomon J. Make a move. Congratulations. Yemawo Aiko. 10,000 Ghana cedis and the play.
Congratulations, Solomon. Well done. Please don't leave it with us. the first prize of 15,000 Ghana cedis goes to Dinah Nadiaska Safu.
Everybody, let's give her a standing ovation.
Unfortunately, Dinah is on official assignment.
She's on
outside the country, and Mercy Aja takes it on her behalf.
She deserves
Our MD will do the presentation for us, please.
Wherever she is, let's give Dinah a round of applause in upstairs.
Congratulations to Dinah. Well done to Dinah. Dinah is online. Dinah, are you there? Dinah, are you there?
Dinah, are you there? Dinah should be online.
I'll hand it over.
Hear it from the background.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Please, next year I'll present my Captain Award. My dear, I beg you. And please, if you had a Captain idea, it's mine. Patented. So please don't use my Captain idea. Next year I'll win the 15,000. And maybe it will be better, so that is mine. Thank you so much. And congratulations to all the winners. Very exciting. We are happy with you. When you go and cash the money, please remember some of us. We clap for you. Be nice. Thank you so much. So we'll soon be out of here. We just have 2 things on the program, then we're out of here. But the next is a very exciting, equally exciting segment where we have a panel discussing how we can together unite forces to transform waste. So the role of the public and private sector doing this. And to do this, I would introduce the moderator for the session. It will just be 30 minutes, after which we'll go into thanking you for coming, and we are done. So please don't be in a hurry to leave. 30 minutes, we're not going to take much of your time. So the moderator for this session is my colleague, Kofi Ejaku-Kwarteng. He has over 19 years of experience in the banking industry in Ghana, in account and relationship management, in SME financing, corporate investment banking, trade and structured finance and risk management, among others. Kofi has an MEC in corporate finance and from the University of Salford, Manchester, UK, and certificates in sustainability leadership from Cambridge University, Center for Sustainability Leadership. He's currently the Enterprise Risk Manager for Ecobank Ghana and also ordained Minister of the Gospel. And Kofi is also the chair of Ecobank Ghana Sustainability Task Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Kofi with a round of applause as he leads the next session for 30 minutes. Thank you, Kofi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. It's a great honor for me to have this opportunity to moderate this session under the topic Uniting Forces for Waste Transformation, the role of the public and private sectors. We are privileged to have 4 people who would be on the panel. And the first is a gentleman who has been with the Bank of Ghana as a senior supervisor for over 14 years in policy and regulation office at the Banking Supervision Department. He provides advice on development and implementation of supervisory policies which are consistent with international best practices and which effectively address supervisory issues within the Ghanaian banking system. He's been a key member in the development and implementation of the Ghana's sustainable banking principles and a sector guidance note since 2015. The gentleman holds a first degree in mathematics and a master's degree in finance and risk management from Oklahoma Christian University in the United States. He's a chief manager of the banking supervision. Let's please welcome Mr. Stephen Ama. Our next panelist is an investment banker and a multifaceted C-suite business executive with over 20 years of experience in capital markets, wealth and portfolio management, mergers and acquisition, enterprise risk management, corporate restructuring, sustainable finance, international treasury, banking operations, management strategy and consulting, new product innovation strategy, fintech technology innovation, and project management. The gentleman is the Chief Investment Innovation Officer at the Jospon Group of Companies, where he leads investment and product innovation strategies. He joined the Jospon Group of Companies from JP Morgan Chase, where he held several management roles in the United States for over 12 years across corporate and investment banking, treasury security services, global finance technology, and consumer community bank in New York, Tampa, and Columbus, all in the United States. Let's welcome Mr. Noah Jima. And as it's important that gender is mainstreamed, we welcome our next panelist, who is an acting director and head of Environmental Assessment and Audit Unit of the Environmental Protection Agency, Ghana. She oversees the administration of environmental assessment of development projects across the country in line with Environmental Assessment Regulations 1999 LI 1652. She is a firm believer of using environmental impact assessment as a planning tool to promote a safe environment and sustainable development. She has been instrumental in the drafting and implementation of the Sustainable Banking Principles, which seeks to guide banks in mainstreaming the fundamental tenets of sustainability in their business and operations. She is passionate about the development of environmental strategies that contribute to waste prevention and reduction with the overall objective of achieving a circular economy. Let's please welcome Mrs. Adriana Nakwako Nelson. And our final panelist has over 16 years experience in the banking industry, having worked with Ecobank PLC since June 2007. He was appointed head of SME banking in December 2018, and is the team lead for the Green Climate Fund Desk since January 2019 here at Ecobank. He holds an MBA in finance from Leicester University, MSc in international business, trade and commerce from Sheffield Hallam University, all in the UK, and BEd psychology from the University of Cape Coast, and is a certified digital finance expert by the Frankfurt Business School, leveraging his vast experience in championing growth and development initiatives for SMEs and key economic sectors through collaborations with national, multilateral, and development finance institutions. The gentleman has built a strong acumen in structured finance, sustainable finance, SME product development, digital lending, and gender finance. Let's make welcome Mr. Kingsley Adofo Ado. And as we kickstart the discussion, it will be important that we start from the name that is very synonymous with the green environment in Ghana. So to our panel member from, how would you describe your journey to becoming one of the greenest waste companies in Africa? And what role has the financial sector played in enabling you to achieve this?
Thank you very much, and I'm very happy to be here to represent Jospon. I think if you look at the trajectory or the history, because I'm relatively newer to Jospon, at least the history will tell you the key point here has to be intentionality. In the waste sector, you have to develop the business. Am I on, please? Okay. Can I be heard? Can I be heard? Is it? Okay, thank you very much. So the key point you will find from Jospon is being intentional about investing in things that it takes a long time for you to see results, right? If you look at the segmentation of our business in terms of the waste management, you have the primary sector and you have the processing sector. The primary is what most of us know. It is collecting of the waste, right? Even with that, you have to invest a lot in equipment, in fleet management, and innovative product to be able to do it well. And even if you look at it, at this time, we still have a lot to do. So if you want to transition into financial opportunity here, you're talking about even waste segregation. If I were to go back home, where I'm coming from, I have about 3 bins where at the source of the waste, they are separated. And someone will be asking, why is that important? Because if I have my children in the US know that blue is are the type of waste that go into it, green are the type of waste that go into it. The rest is this. Why? Because when you come to the waste sector, then you notice that being intentional and being able to separate it at the source even give you better material for new technology, RDF, which is the waste development ability to convert that municipal waste to energy. They all have effect. So for us to be, the reason why we believe we've been successful is intentionality and be able to back it up with support in R&D and then also fund it way before you begin to actually get the returns from it. So that is even just on the primary side. And then you go to the processing side, of our business where heavy investments are required, years even before returns are given. And what do I mean by that? The processing side, that is where we have our recycling plants. We are building about 12 or 16 across the country. And the success of Jospon is the investment we make into the technology that we have to always to be able to do that. And then be ahead of the curve in terms of what everyone else is doing in the world relative to what a typical third world country is doing. As well, a combination of intentionality, investment in yet to be realized returns, and then also developing the skill sets of people to be able to keep up with new innovation that are going on to be able to deploy for the benefits of the people that we serve.
Thank you very much. I would want to just remind you that there was a session that had to do with the role of financial institution in this. When you mention there is significant investment that is required, I would want to believe that you may have had some partners or some sort of debt financing in doing this. So if you can shed some light on that, that would be great to hear.
Right. I think that yes, it's always required bank or financial support. Most of our financing had been more of ECA financing because it's literally in the equipment side of things. And so you would have to find either through an exim facility or we're struggling to get DFI in this area, but a lot of areas the DFIs are where you drive it. If you want to go by commercial side, a lot of times you have challenges, but we have local support. We have Ecobank, we have other banks that have supported in making sure that even if you have an ECA, you still need local support. And Ecobank had been there in supporting in the build out of some of these facilities, particularly in the processing side where the recycling plant. So just a gist of the investment structure. So you would know that, okay, I've identified to build a recycling plant. Okay, this is how much it's going to cost. Where am I sourcing the equipment from? And what is the backup financing that I need? So if you look at it as a model, you always have to have partners within the financial sector to be able to understand the innovation, the technology, and where it's coming from. And typically, we would want to take advantage of where the equipment are coming from to be able to look for the initial sources of financing from there as a backup. And then when you come here, then you need to be able to actually build a plant and then support it with working capital and others to make sure it works. So that is where that's the model we use in most instances, and we've been successful in having local banks or financial institutions support that endeavor.
Thank you very much. But how would you say the management or the transformation of waste in Ghana has progressed over the years? And as we heard, by 2050, the amount of tonnage of waste that we'll be, generating in a part of the world, what do you envisage the next decade would be like as far as waste transformation is concerned?
I like the word transformation, right? I do see a situation where investment in waste will pace up with population growth. Because typically we're dealing with municipal waste. And therefore, the more population increases and the diversity of the population, and that's very important. Because in our business, we know there are certain areas where there is understanding of how waste is treated. There are certain places, why do I have to buy a bin and put my domestic waste in? So as the population grows and the segmentation also advances in the idea of waste itself, then we do see that even investment would also trajectory follow that in the concept of being able to take the waste into new products that will be developed. So for instance, we are the biggest producer of organic fertilizer in Ghana. And our focus would be to continually build into that. And we are advancing research into turning those liquid fertilizers into solid fertilizers into liquid fertilizers. So we are looking at a situation where we continue to innovate and to invest as the pace of population is followed, to be able to understand the segmentation and then to be able to come up with products that will not only support the population but also make us healthy. That's the goal. At the end of the day, if it is you are able to build sustainable business, then it must be sustainable in the source of the people that you support. I do see also, based on our recent success, we just coming from COP28, where just one, if not Africa, West Africa, we've been able to secure carbon credit to a tune of about $20 million coming in to support us to be able to develop this. This is the first time that is happening in West Africa, at least we know. And so we do see that as we grow into this space, in the future, we would have the resources, the direction, the sustainable finance resources to be able to allow us to be able to develop more innovation products out of the recycling and others. Then it goes back into the economy to be able to support the community that we serve.
Thank you very much. For the regulator, we heard snippets of what the regulator is doing in that space when the second deputy governor gave the keynote address. But as the chief regulator of this financial institution, what are the strategies that you are employing to ensure that institutions adapt or promote sustainability in the operations as well as promote waste education or waste reduction especially?
All right. Thank you very much. I hope I can be heard. And I think I will stand on the existing protocols. Mr. Sejes would have been here to, touch on this topic, but for some important meetings he has to be at. So I will just discuss a few things. Of course, from the regulator's perspective, we see this thing as a very strategic. If you look at our mandate as a central bank, the mandate we have stability with a mandate, and of course we do have financial stability. And then, of course, also another mandate we have is to show micro-prudential supervision to ensure idiosyncratic institutions like Ecobank continue to be safe and sound. Now, we do appreciate the impact of sustainability, of course, in as much as there's opportunity in there, and there are also risk. And we do appreciate the risk they could have on our mandate as a central bank, and of course, the risks also. social governance, which my deputy governor touched on that. Under the governance, we're looking at, some issues like resource efficiency, transformation, waste transformation issues. When you go to the principle 7, we touch on that, and even principle 2, which, like I said, the deputy governor touched on. So in you assessing credit, of course, if you're giving a credit to, say, a customer, you must be able to assess the issue of E&S risk within. And then, of course, address that. If not so, and the regulator comes to you, then, of course, the regulator pay your judgment he or she will make on that particular credit will be enhanced, of course, in respect of credit risk. Yeah. And that is going to then affect your rating if you don't have robust capital and earnings ability, of course, to absorb the issues. So those are the things that we have done and we continue to do. Creating awareness on the principles and building capacity of financial institutions. If you check last year alone, we did about 2 capacity training, working with stakeholders to ensure that it is really well enhanced. Now, within the strategies we have adopted, one of them also is to that we have even designed the templates which financial institutions submit their returns to us. Now we're doing off-site analysis on the templates. And when we do that off-site analysis on the template, depending on how we rate you, it is fed into the supervisory planning that we have for you in the course of the year, how we're going to approach our supervisory practices within the specific institution based on the ratings that we have given you. Of course, it's not even only as you have rated yourself, but then, of course, based on the analysis and the dialogue we do have with you, if we think that we have to change the ratings, we do that. And that really fits into whatever plan we have for you and the various strategies, and if there's any action that we need to take just to see that the right things are done. Those are the things that we have done. These are some of the things we've done. We continue to do more. In fact, as I'm talking to you, we are currently designing a whole directive on climate risk. If you check on the principles we designed, we couldn't go detailed in the climate space because as at that time, development had not gone far. We started this engagement from 2015. Now, when you look at what Basel has done, Basel has come up with clear principles on the climate. Now we have S1 and S2 from the IFRS side. These are things that we are feeding into the new directive that is coming, and the expectation is that by second quarter, we should be able to have that directive for you to adapt, and then, of course, for us to see how best we are addressing climate issues within the system. And it has come to stay, and it is important that you begin to look at your risk models, especially the climate. It has become a very big issue now. Look at your risk models and see how, if you have given a credit to, say, somebody in Kaswa where the flooding happened, your risk model should be able to pick the issues up and say that, okay, this is the risks I see. These are my exposures when it comes to Kaswa. And then, of course, if anything should materialize or escalate, this is the impact it's going to have on me, and make you the stress testing and various scenarios just to guide you. So those are the few development that's going on within the regulatory space. Probably I may have to bring to your attention.
Thank you very much. With that said, knowing that you have the banks to supervise and everything that you have indicated, how would you rate the willingness of banks to the compliance of the agenda of sustainable financing, and what role can the Bank of Ghana continue to play to accelerate the progress being made in this space?
Yeah. I think if you listen to the Deputy Governor, I know she's made the work very easy for me by giving us the progress that over the years since the bank started reporting to us and what we have seen from the ratings. It's been very on a gradual basis. We can see every quarter submission that comes in, we see improvement in respect of the ratings of specific banks. So that in itself gives us an encouragement that, of course, financial institutions are adapting the principles and really are doing the best. And of course, also through our own supervision, we're going to ensure that, of course, you are not going to stay at where you are. We need to reach the maturity stage of 100%, just for us to know that really you've adopted the principles fully and you are on course. That in itself also, as regulators, gives us some comfort that on a going concern basis, you continue to be safe and sound. At the end of the day, all these principles that we have issued for you to really adopt and see to the full implementation is to ensure that for you as institutions, you continue to be safe and sound on a going concern basis. Yes. Exactly. And when one institution is safe, another institution is safe, you're going to have the system being safe. And that is what we are looking at. So we will continue to collaborate with all key stakeholders going forward to ensure that you each and everyone, do whatever is expected. The good thing is that now, in fact, if you look at the Ministry of Finance has set up a whole climate division, and I realize that your GCF, for instance, they will help you, which is very good. And so these are things we're going to continue to do, working with the key stakeholders in the system, the EPA, of course, there's Ghana Association of Bankers and our international partners like IFC, and then the SBFN, the NGFS, which is a network for cleaning the financial system. They focus more on the climate. And for your information, Ghana is even a member, and we contribute to the global work on the climate at the NGFS and then the SBFN. So those are things that we'll continue to do. Because when we do that, then we're making our financial institutions in the system here not only resilient, but become very attractive to these global funds. Like now, Ecobank has been able to attract $250 million, which I saw in your audited financial statement. It's very encouragement, and you see that the Deputy Governor was singing all your praises. Those are things that we will continue to do just to ensure that our institutions within Ghana here are attractive to these global funds. Funds comes in, and also from the risk perspective, you manage the risk very well, just to be sure that you are safe and sound on a going concern basis. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Adriana, you deal with the environment and the issues that relate, as far as the regulation in that space is concerned. Waste transformation is a critical, aspect of the environmental sustainability conversation. And considering the ministry's commitment to waste management, how can the private sector, in your view, actively contribute to and collaborate with government in implementing effective waste transformation initiatives that align with the Green National Agenda?
Thank you very much, Kofi. For me, I would say, once we are here in Ecobank, enjoying with you on your Sustainability Week, I would say waste is wealth, actually. Waste is a resource in transition from its current state into another state. So in as much as we all want public-private partnerships to make sure our waste is transformed from what it is into another thing, what I will encourage us all to do is to make sure we invest in companies who have the initiatives like Jaspon Group, Zoomline. There are quite a number of them who are doing a lot of magic, if you could say, transforming waste from plastic waste to paper tiles for roofing. Some are doing composting, like Jacora Ventures is doing. There are so many different things that can be done. For us, I think we should start from the government side. We should actually start having policies on reducing waste. For instance, you go and buy food. It is put in one bag for you, tied in another bag, and put in another plastic bag. By the time you're leaving, you have your wache, all about 3 different bags. I think if we come up with a policy where your packaging shouldn't be more than 2 packs, that will start reducing our waste. Starting from there. It's the initial thing we should do. Then we can look about the reusing. If I open my bag, I have a bag I fold always. Anywhere I go, I put it in. If I buy one thing, I do not ask for a bag. And I'm wishing to see Ecobank, when I come to you and I take money, you give me a paper bag going forward instead of a plastic bag for me to put my waste in. These are some of the things we all have to do from our side. It is a lot of money, as he said, to collect waste, to transport the waste, and to treat the waste. We can do different things to reduce, to recycle, to reuse. You buy a dispenser bottle, you give it to those who sell flowers and all that. Either they recycle it or they reuse it. So there are different things we should do. So we should come together. I think as a country, if we decide we want to reduce our waste, we truly can reduce our waste. We should just accept it. Change is difficult, very difficult. I work in EPA and I'm telling you, it's difficult. When you talk, people talk back. But we have to keep forcing. We used to go to markets with what? Baskets when I was growing up. Now there's plastic everywhere. You buy from one person, he gives you one, you put in another. By the time you are leaving, you've bought one. Buy a bag you can reuse constantly, always. So those are some of the things we have to look at. For the banks, it will be very advisable for you to always try and help the companies that are investing in any form of waste transformation plans that they have. If you have issues with them and you are not sure, EPA is always there encouraging you to invest in green projects that are going to make sure that the environment is getting rid of all the waste. So please, let's look forward to greening Ghana. You have started a good initiative. The Bank of Ghana, I know, is also very happy with this, and EPA is equally very, very happy with it. So please, let's move on and let's collaborate. Let's be innovative together. If you fund a lot of the infrastructure and a lot of the technology and research that is done into waste transformation, it will help our nation move forward. And I see us becoming a paperless nation, a plasticless nation, if possible. We can ban a lot of the single-use plastics. It will help us a lot. You go to the beach today, what happens? You swim in and there are sachet bags and all that all over. We never thought of that. You know, in the olden days, we used to buy water in cups. Because of transmittable diseases, tuberculosis and all that, we decided to start doing the sachets, but we didn't think of the menace that it would create. Now that it has created, let's find a way of transforming that menace into something else so that we can keep our cities clean.
Thank you very much. Just a follow-up question. PPPs are very instrumental, in driving sustainable initiatives. So from where you sit, as a regulator, how does the institution you work for and the bigger space, the ministry under which your agency fall, envision the collaboration between the private sector in spearheading the Green Economic Development Program for MSMEs, especially and SMEs in our country?
Okay. What we started doing from our end, for instance, we started waste segregation. So you have your plastic, your paper, your tin. But believe you me, they come to pick the waste and everything is dumped in together. And they tell you to go and sort it out later. Now, with time, what we started doing was encouraging financial institutions. And in fact, we had this conference, we have a cleaner production center where we have the industry symbiosis. So one industry's waste is another's raw material. So when we find out that industry A, for instance, is having a lot of waste, we go and collaborate with other industries and ask you, your raw material, what are you using? They tell us, oh, we are going to import ties. Somebody came to do a paralysis plant, for instance, waste to energy. Paralysis plant, he's going to import ties, used ties. And we said there's so many used ties in our country. Why don't we start using the ones that we have in country before you can go and import more waste into the country? So those are some of the things that we have to look at. There's a lot of things that can be done. We can do composting, we can do the incineration, waste to energy, where sometimes you can use your own waste, the anaerobic digestion. Your workers did a lot of green things, and that's what we want to happen. There's a lot of PPP partnerships that we can go. What we would need to be done is that when we are doing it, in as much as we are transforming waste from one product to another, making money, remember that the process also can impact the environment negatively. So we have to find ways of mitigating those impacts that will hit the environment, and then we can collaborate together.
Just a follow-up and a final bit from you. You mentioned policies. So within that space, and we know that in our country, waste management primarily is from the municipal and the district assemblies. So what input are you making regarding the policy formulation in this space to ensure that, our behavior and attitudes, within the space of waste transformation is actually one that help us to get to that plastic-less economy that you so desire?
Thank you. What would happen, what we have to do is work, we have to collaborate together. So Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation will have to collaborate with the local assemblies. Because municipal waste is owned by the local, metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies. But we need to collaborate together. We need to sit on the table, come together, put the policies together, and most importantly, do a lot of awareness creation on what we want the future to look like. We should educate our people on what we want to see. And when we do that, we can start implementing. We have to introduce the policies together, educate our people together, accept it, and move on with it. Then maybe later, if there are supposed to be certain penalties, which I hope won't happen, because we all want a cleaner environment. We want to breathe in clean air. We want to breathe in fresh air. We want everything to be clean. We will work together, and then we move into that direction to improve our countries.
Thank you very much. And knowing that Ecobank led the way,
yes,
as it were,
yes.
in the collaboration, when that time comes, I'm sure that Ecobank
we shall call upon you for sure.
Yes. Let's appreciate
to do
that.
the financing, yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. Finally, to Kingsley, can you just take us through? All of us are excited about the fact that we are GCF accredited. GCF accredited, and the excitement, concessional financing that will help us to be able to, as it were, transfer, those benefits to the businesses that we do. Just walk us through our journey with GCF.
Thank you, Kofi, and I stand on all protocols earlier mentioned. It's indeed been a journey. With regards to GCF, the Green Climate Fund, mainly set up under the UNFCCC, with a goal of ensuring they help move that paradigm, right, towards more of climate actions and give us a safer environment. Within that scope, GCF had set up to invest in 4 key transitions, looking at the built environment, looking also at energy and industry, livelihood, human security, well-being, and last but not the least, the ecosystem. And in all of this, investment that trickled into the GCF had been more from the public sector. And how can they, within this journey, help the private sector come along, bring up policies or initiatives that will crowd in private sector investment. And one of such was a journey to accredit entities to the fund, and in this case, private sector entities like Ecobank, to ensure that we lead the charge in crowding in private sector investment. But to be accredited, foremost, one has to be nominated. And here, recognizing the Ministry of Finance and the NDA, who graciously nominated Ecobank as a commercial bank to spearhead or to put itself up for this accreditation. And nomination alone is not enough. One would have to now look internally at its operations, look internally at its policies, look at issues around ESGs, and also ensure gender, which is at the heart of GCF, is mainstreamed into its policy. That journey took us a bit over 2 years, working with stakeholders, working with consultants to come to that determination, at which point we then submitted ourselves for the accreditation. So Ecobank today is accredited by the GCF as a direct access entity, the first in sub-Saharan Africa, and the only commercial bank to be at that within the whole of West Africa. And thank you. Now, the accreditation alone, right, is not all about that. It's not the real journey. The real journey is now walking the talk, crowding in the investment to transform private sector, even as they come on board to work on that. So we had to go through a bit of, call it, condition precedents to make our accreditation effective. And that happened somewhere last year, September the 6th. Our accreditation in 2019, July, became effective on September 6th, 2023. But based on the learnings and support from international and regional accredited entities, we picked lessons in between time to help develop ourselves, build capacity, and even co-created a funding proposal which equally was approved by the GCF working with the African Development Fund. And through that process, help us also to accelerate the development and the submission of our own funding proposal, which today, as of March 5th, got the endorsement of GCF. And so with that, we have our maiden funding proposal approved. And I'd want to also recognize on that the Energy Commission, which has been in the trenches with us in this journey as well. Thank you.
With that said, what has been some of the challenges that you experienced on this journey, and what would you tell any other financial institution or any other entity that would want to follow the Ecobank example by getting accreditation with the GCF?
Thank you, Kofi. I think largely it's a journey of resilience. We say we want to crowd in investment to help fund transitions. We want to crowd in investment to help green our economy. But within that space, right, there's a lot of knowledge that has not been exposed. People just don't know. Institutions haven't come to that full realization. The human capital available haven't been resourced enough to implement and drive this call to action we say we want to pursue. The outcomes we want to pursue haven't fully been validated or to a greater extent being measurable, right? So as an institution, if you want to pursue this path, you need to submit yourself to these policies, these guidelines that enables you internally to recognize and also implement it in your everyday activity. As a financial institution, today we've talked a lot about the journey as a bank we've taken, even to the extent of mainstreaming some of these practices and policies within our credit architecture, within our operations as a bank. And that is a cause that I invite and encourage all those who would want to pursue to also be on. You need partners. Climate action is expensive. And climate action also requires, in as much as we need to be aggressive in achieving it, we equally need to be patient in deploying it. And those two conundrums, one would say, from a partnership standpoint, you then would be able to achieve more, because it's the burden then is not on one. Being it a multilateral institution, being it a national development organization, being it a commercial bank, or being it the private sector, if we all chip in towards that common goal, it becomes less burdensome, but greatly achievable as a one unit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can put your hands together for the panelists. And just as we round off, for each of you, just in a minute, what will be your final word as far as, uniting forces for waste transformation, the role of private and public and private sectors as a theme for this discussion? I mean, what final words would you leave? And we can start with you, Kingsley.
Okay, thank you. I would say, citing the various proposals that as a bank we've had approved and in the coming months having to implement, would use that as a testament of invitation, right, to the private sector, to the public sector, to work with us, even as we implement these projects. And from those learnings of implementation, we can develop better paths or better pathways that can help us accelerate our investments and interventions in this space. And again, together, we can overcome this challenge. So I invite, it's a call for partnership, and it's a call for a common mindset. Thank you.
Adriana?
Thank you. I would say, as usual, my favorite saying, waste is wealth. So let's all come together, collaborate together to make our country a better country.
Thank you very much, Noah.
Yes, the word I was going to use is collaboration. I think that waste management and greening Ghana should not be left to Zoom Lion alone. We all play a part, and also an invitation to the financial services industry that we all, as a private sector, we all have a pipeline of projects. We are developing a lot, and so you'll be very great to have this conversation. So Jospon has an investment team, and we're spearheading this. It would be great to have conversation. For you to know what we're doing. Sometimes you start an initiative, you don't know that someone is already. I was already on a journey with Green Climate Fund, and I didn't know Ecobank was on the trajectory of securing that. But later on, our paths crossed. So I'm talking about collaborating as an ecosystem to understand what is there, to learn from each other so that we'll be able to support each other.
Thank you very much. Steve?
Yeah, thank you. I think I share the view of Kingsley, where he touched on, I think, knowledge. What I have seen over the years, I think from 2015, since I involved myself in these sustainability issues, not only waste management, but all other sustainability elements really requires a lot of knowledge. And you need to read wide, you need to really do a lot of studies, and it requires everyone in an institution must be involved. I mean, if you look at the whole thing and how it is, even the cleaner is part of it. I mean, if you look at what I call PPC, processes, procedures, controls, everyone is involved in these three elements I have mentioned. So let us commit ourselves to a lot of studies. And I think from where I sit as a regulator, we encourage financial institutions to lend to businesses that are really sustainable. Of course, then you are sure that you're going to get this loan back. If you look at how non-performing loans are, wiping away capitals and earnings, then you need to be very sustainable in your disbursement of loan. So let's do a lot of training and let's build a capacity of all these risk guys who do the modelings and then who do this assessment from relationship managers and everyone in the bank, even including tellers. And I believe that as we do that, the impact of this will be felt positively on the institution's bottom line, and that will be good for the system. From the regulated perspective, we want you to continue to be in existence to provide jobs and, of course, to support economic growth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Steve. Let's put our hands together for our panelists. Knowledge, collaboration, waste to wealth, and partnership. That's what I got from the table. And I believe that this session has provided us with the avenue to learn something new. If for nothing at all, in addition to word of the day, you can add hashtag waste to wealth.
Yeah.
Let's appreciate every one of them. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Let's give our panelists a round of applause again. Yeah. We'd like to say we highly appreciate your contributions. Yeah. Bringing us information, bringing out discussions that's worthwhile for the day. We'll take the rest of the afternoon and take it home with us. We'll move.
A big thank you to Kofi and the team. Is this working? Okay. Thank you so much. There's a lot that they said. But just key reminders before we go into the vote of thanks, which is the last item on the list. So I've just been noting some of the things. Waste is wealth, right? That's what she said. Waste is worth. So all of us, we have a lot of wealth in the waste money. And don't forget, like I said earlier, waste isn't waste until we waste it. And it's when we waste it that we get the money. So the wealth generation does not just come, it comes from wasting the waste so that the money will come. And as the second deputy governor said, littering is a crime. So if you are watching us, listening to us, please don't forget that. And I heard her say that she's in blue because our water bodies are really endangered. So you and I, as we listen and we move out of here and go through the rest of the week, let's also think through how we are able to, in our small ways, support and ensure that we sustain our water bodies. and the word of the day. The word of the day? Fred? Concomianism. Pianism. Okay, I thought you said meanism. I was going to say, hey, my meanism, yeah. Thank you. That word is anti-sustainability. If you think that way, then you think that you can do every bad thing to the environment and it will still be here. It won't be here. When we exploit the environment, whatever we sow, we are reaping. So let's do good, because really sustainability is not about doing less harm, like I said. It's about doing more good to society. And remember, at Ecobank, for us, sustainability is a matter of business survival. We will make sure that our practices are sustainable. Everything that we do, from process, procedures and controls, so that when you bank with us, then you know you are at the right place. So if you can hear us, you are watching us, you've heard all the testimonies. If you have any brilliant idea, no matter what the idea is, on how we can together work and sustain the environment, reduce waste, make sure that we sustain our water bodies, all the many ideas that you have, please come to Ecobank. It's the place to be. If you are not here, then you are really missing out. Thank you for being here. I would now invite Gifty to give us the vote of
Conocopianism, that's the key word for the tide. Oh yes, let's get it on. Let's make sure it works out fine. Go ahead.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. In some institutions, sustainability has a very large jacket and wearing a very big bow tie. But here in Ecobank, it's been demystified. It's part of our daily lives. We do the very simple things because of sustainability. And so please indulge me this morning to thank the King of Kings, God Almighty, for making this day possible. He's permitted this historic day, and we are very grateful to him. I'd like to thank the second Deputy Governor, although she's not here, for taking time off a very busy schedule to join us, and not just to join us, to launch our week-long sustainability celebrations. We really do appreciate her support. We'll now turn to our Managing Director, CEO, although she's not here, the ever admirable Abna Osei-Poku, for making it possible for us to have this. It's been all running around, but she's really been supportive, and we really want to thank her for that. I'd like to also acknowledge the presence, although they are not here, Mr. Honorable Osei-Kokofu and Mr. Osei JC, the head of banking supervision. He was also here. He had to leave because of other assignments. And now we also have one and only international lady amongst us, in the person of Madame Joanna Mensah, our country chief risk officer. She's been at the helm of all this. Thank you very much, Madam. You've been so phenomenal. We really salute the resilience and the support. And to the most dynamic management team in the whole world, the whole globe, Ecobank, ESCOM, we are so grateful to you. Please, a round of applause for them. Thank you so much. You've played critical roles in ensuring that this day is a success, and we are so grateful to you. To our esteemed panelists, in no particular order, Mr. Noajima, you arrived last night, we are aware. Because of the love you have for Ecobank, we are so grateful for your support. Mr. Stephen Ama, thank you so much for the coaching and all the guidance. Miss Adriana Nelson, she was ready before we called her, actually. So before we called her, she already said yes. And then Mr. Kingsley Adolfo, thank you so much. And our moderator, Kofi Ejako. To our judges, Mr. Mark Oforikwafu, I can see you. Please wave at me so I can see you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much, Mr. Ebenezer Ashi, our partner for life from the Energy Commission. And then Mr. Ebenezer Kuma from Zoom Lion. Oh, there you are. Thank you so much. One session lasted us about 3 to 4 hours, making very critical decisions because of the project. They were so competitive. So thank you very much, honorable judges. And now a resounding round of applause for all ourselves. We've all been phenomenal. Please give a round of applause, a very resounding one for all ourselves. Thank you so much. We do appreciate your presence, Mr. Henry Ampon. Thank you very much for making time to join us. Thank you. We want to thank Mr. Ken Kabonu. It's been how many years of knowing you, but it's always on fire. Thank you for the song that you composed for us. We'll continue to play here. And then to our MC, we'll not leave you out. We love you in action. Thank you so much, Regina. Thank you for all the support. I would like to end here by saying that let's all leave here today inspired and empowered, and to make meaningful differences wherever we find ourselves. I believe that we can and we will. God bless us all. Thank you very much.
We can and we definitely will. Thank you, Gifty, who is the ESG and Sustainability Regional Coordinator for Ecobank. Thank you so much, Gifty. So, ladies and gentlemen, at long last, we've come to the end of this session. And I said this session because when you were driving in, you saw the booth. You are right? A lot of exciting recycled goods there for you and I to buy. Let's begin to touch and feel when waste is transformed, how it looks like. Then maybe I can get supporters in my Captain idea. I am still promoting my idea. Thank you for coming. We said this is a week. On Friday, Ecobank will make a donation at the St. Paul Senior High. So please look out for us. When you see us on Facebook and the rest, like us, share, and let's spread the news. Thank you for coming. It's been a very lovely morning. And once again, we are grateful for your time. My name is Regina Ofori. It's been a pleasure being your MC. Thank you for coming. Thank you all. And please, once I said that, then I asked you for photo opportunities. So that was just for the cameras. We are going to take pictures. So please, can I have...
Africa, a new era has begun. Shifting our focus to a new horizon, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Today, we are making a brighter tomorrow, built by our dreams and our energy. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future. A Pan-African future. Together. Ecobank. A better way, a better Africa. Across